Well, hi there and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. This is a show where you join me on my journey through life here on the homestead at York Meadow Farm. My name is Rob Kaiser and I am your host. On this weekly show, we rotate through one of 7 core topics that make up our lives: physical, financial, personal development, family, spiritual, social, and career. Now, last week in episode 525, we covered a personal development topic with a show titled Turning Dreams into Reality, a Guide to Goal Setting. And that was a show where we took a deep dive into the importance of clarity, strategic planning, and actionable steps we can all take to achieve our goals and turn our dreams into reality. And today we are moving forward through the topics and discussing a family-related matter. And the topic of today's show is gifts with a story, unwrapping the art of thoughtful giving. So please stick around and join us on today's heartwarming podcast as we explore the alternative gift-giving strategies of our family, the Kaiser family, here at York Meadow Farm. Today we're going to talk casually about the history of the unique tradition that we have, how it began, and we'll also discover the charm behind handmade, locally purchased, and secondhand gifts, all within a budget of $125, which also includes stocking stuffers and a limit on the number of gifts to be given. We will also include some dialogue about the joy that meaningful presents that we have, and we will also talk about how doing this supports local artisans and sustainable practices. So hopefully today's show will inspire you to create your own cherished traditions in your family, traditions that go beyond the ordinary, and also traditions that cultivate deeper and more loving relationships. You know, something that can make your holidays truly special. But before we jump into the show topic of today, I want to talk to you about how you can support the show. Patreon. The Patreon page is up and running. It is live and you can find it at www.patreon.com/allaroundgrowth. Now, last week I mentioned that the page was in the works, and I am excited to announce that it is live. Now, for all of you guys out there who have been listening to the show and supporting the show, first and foremost, your support means the world. I've been doing this for a few years now. The project is a labor of love, and I truly enjoy doing it. If I didn't, I wouldn't. But the reality is, I want to do the show, and I want to do it better. So through the Patreon platform, I think I will be better to engage with the audience and ultimately better engage with you. So here's how it works, all right? By becoming a subscriber, you are directly fueling the podcast's growth. Your contributions will support essential aspects like podcast hosting, live streaming capabilities, and the facilitation of engaging interviews, which we have not done many of, but that is something that I would like to do more of. What makes it special is that there is an increased opportunity for feedback and interaction with show supporters, and ultimately show supporters will have the opportunity to actively shape the future of the show. So how does that work? How can you do that? What are you talking about? So here's a breakdown of how it works. First and foremost, it costs nothing to subscribe to the Patreon channel. You can become a member for free. There's going to be exclusive content posted there. I've already posted a poll about the direction of the show, the frequency of the show, what you like, what you don't like, and some of this content is going to be exclusive to Patreon. And it's going to be outside of what is posted on other social media channels like Facebook, Telegram, Twitter. So if you like what you see as a consumer of the podcast and you want to contribute to the show even more than listening, you can not only sign up for free, and be a member and see things that nobody else sees there. But there are also 3 different options to make financial contributions. And those options are really quite simple. The first option is called the dreamer, okay? If you want to be a dreamer, if you are a dreamer, you can be an official all-around growth dreamer by contributing a modest $3 a month, which is equivalent to less than $1 per episode. And that is a way of saying, hey, thanks, Rob. I support your work because I think it matters. And in doing this, your contribution helps make dreams become reality, not just my own, but dreams of anyone and everyone that's listening, somebody out there that might find inspiration from the show. So if you want to contribute in a small way, be a dreamer. All Around Growth, patreon.com/allaroundgrowth, and you can find out how to do exactly that. The next tier up is the builder option. You can become a builder of the show by contributing $5 a month. And what that does is it unlocks your ability to influence the show. You will have the ability to engage in exclusive polls and cast votes to shape the content of upcoming episodes, topics that you want to talk about. So when you subscribe at the builder level, you are effectively molding the show and ensuring that the topics that are covered are topics that you are passionate about. So there will also be personalized recognition with people who are patrons or subscribers at all levels, and your name, your business, whatever you want featured in the show notes, that is going to be what is featured because you are helping me do what I do. And the least I can do is help you do what you do. So like I said, your support at the builder level actively influences the content and growth of the show. And finally, we've got the Curiosity Corner, right? And at $7 a month, you get exclusive access to a blend of Q&A sessions and Ask Me Anything sessions. And this gives you the opportunity to do exactly that. Ask me anything. You know, get whatever it is that you're curious about. You know, ask me questions, spark discussions, get into the behind the scenes aspect of the journey here at All Around Growth, the journey here on the homestead, the journey of the growth and development of the businesses that are taking place here on the homestead and beyond. We are planning monthly Q&A sessions where it's just those in the Curiosity Corner and me. Sessions where we talk about podcast topics, you know, personal insights, whatever, anything that's on your mind. Ask me anything. The floor is open for questions spanning whatever it is that you're interested in, from the nuances of podcasting and the show itself, or personal experiences in my life with regard to anything. Anything goes. So you'll get special access to these episodes, and this will give you exclusive access, and you'll be one of the privileged few who get to experience what everybody else who is not at this level might miss. And again, ultimately, your support won't go unnoticed. You get a special mention during this episode. Your name will be featured in our virtual supporter Hall of Fame. So, you know, again, you not only get the requests, the fan requests, and the voting power of the polls that come at the builder level, but you also get live chat, live Q&As, Ask Me Anything, whatever it is that you want, that's what you get. So we currently have 2 new subscribers over the past week. We've got Wayne hanging out in the top tier in the Curiosity Corner, and Kyriake, who is a show builder. And guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Both of you guys are shaping the future of the show, and I'm incredibly grateful for your support. and your contributions to the show. So when we hit 10 subscribers to the Patreon channel, 10 memberships, I am going to begin live streaming the shows each week and adding that back into the mix. Either I will be live streaming the shows or the shows will be recorded. Not necessarily every show will be live streamed, but every show will be on video once we hit that 10 subscriber mark. So if you like video and you want to see more of it, go ahead, subscribe at one of those three options, the Dreamer, the Builder, or hang out with Wayne up there in the Curiosity Corner, and let's see if we can't make the live streaming happen. So guys, again, thank you for your contributions. Wayne, Kiriki, I really appreciate it. I can't say thanks enough. So thank you. And if you guys want to subscribe, please do so. Patreon.com/allaroundgrowth, and subscribe at whatever level suits your interests. So let's go ahead and get into the show topic and talk about gifts with a story. Unwrapping the art of thoughtful giving. Now, like I said, we're going to explore alternative gift giving strategies of our family here at York Meadow Farm, why we do what we do, how this tradition began in the first place, the magic of handmade, locally purchased, and secondhand gifts, and the beauty of a budget that we all need to adhere to, or else Mom's going to get really mad if we don't. So we're also going to discuss the beauty of a limit on how many gifts that can be given and why we started putting a limit on the number of gifts that can be given. So, oh yeah, one other thing too. I'm even going to share with you how we unwrap them, because there's something different about the way in which we unwrap gifts as well. So let's get into it. All right. How did this all start, right? This all started, if memory serves me right, it all started when I was living out west in Southern California. And I think at that time my brother was living in Miami or DC, and my sister was living down in Texas. So all of us kids were spread all across the country. And at that time, we were all involved in relationships, and we had different places to go. At that time I would go to New York for Christmas and then come back here for Christmas. My sister would go to maybe Northeast Ohio and then come back here to Medina for Christmas. And my brother would bounce back and forth from DC or Miami, wherever he was, and here. So, a lot of travel, a lot of money spent on plane tickets and gifts for family members at the other holiday gift giving season, and ultimately gifts that were given with our own families. And the holidays, we realized that if we were going to continue living our lives like this, scattered all across the country, that was fine, but we needed to make a way, and we wanted to make a way. We wanted to make the holidays less stressful. So, because we realized that all the holidays really meant, in addition to stress, was effectively hemorrhaging money out for travel, for gifts, for food, for this, for that. It was just, no one was really enjoying the holidays because it was just a stressful and expensive time of the year. So what we decided to do, and this was, I'm not really sure how this idea came to be. I'd like to give credit to Mom and maybe my sister for this idea. I'm not entirely sure, but we all decided at some point in time through discussion about the stress and the money and the this and the that, that one thing that we could do would be to put a limit on the gifts and say no gifts will be given unless the gifts are handmade, locally purchased, or secondhand, used books, used clothes, used whatever the case may be. It had to be used flower pots. Whatever it was that person was interested in, it would be used. Okay? And over time, we eventually developed a budget. I think the first year we were doing maybe $75 or $100. And since we've been doing this for about 10, 12 years now, that budget has been increased up to $125 because we realized that, okay, we would have the gifts, which would be that dollar limit, and then we would end up buying stocking stuffers, a lot of which included, various candy that people liked, or beef jerky, or, just little things that people could largely snack on, and just little doodads and fun things that go in stockings. And so we finally decided recently, within the past couple of years, that $125, that's it, that's the cap, stocking stuffers included, make it work. And over the past few years, as my nieces and nephew got older, we began to realize that holidays and the act of gift giving and opening presents was an increasingly challenging act to participate in when kids are less than 5 years old, 4 years old. When you've got, a couple of, 6-month-old kids, 5-month-old kids, and another kid that's 2, and then the next year you've got, like 18-month-old kids and a kid that's 3. It's a lot. It takes a lot to stay focused and actually complete the the process of gift giving and unwrapping, especially the way that we do it, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So inevitably, what we started to do was put a limit on the quantity of gifts that could be given, because some people in the past, prior to the kids, would really extend and make that $100, they'd stretch it out. And what happened was some people would have 6 or 7 or 8 gifts, and some people might only have 3 or 4. And that no one really cared, because by this point in time, we'd been doing this for a while, and we all understood that the whole point of the holidays was less about the consumerism and less about the materialistic aspects of the holiday, and it was more about the family and the time that we got to spend together. So we didn't really care, but to kind of even it out, that's when we put a cap on the quantity of gifts. And the way that we do this is, we all come together as a family. The gifts are underneath the tree. In the morning, we all take some time, have some coffee, some pastries, some breakfast, generally speaking, copious amounts of bacon, and we relax and enjoy the stockings, right? So as we're doing this, we're having a good time going through the stockings, and then it's time to unwrap the gifts. Now, and this tradition is one that goes back to my grandparents and how we did Christmas Eve together as a family with my dad and his brothers and all of their kids, my cousins, And, these were the good old days back in a small house with 5 boys and 20 some grandkids all running around, pure chaos. But somehow or another, we made it work, and we would open gifts from the youngest person to the oldest person. So the youngest person would open a gift, everybody else would kind of stand back and watch them open a gift. And, we'd really focus time, effort, and energy on that one person. And then the next oldest would open a gift. And then the next oldest would open a gift. And it allowed everybody to have their own moment in the unwrapping of gifts. And it really extended out that time. And it made it special. It was special for the person giving the gift. It was special for the person receiving the gift. It was just a special time. So we've carried on that tradition with our family. We've always done that, as a matter of fact, opening from youngest to oldest and focusing on that person in that moment. So now when we do that, we usually make 4 rounds of gift opening, and by that time the kids are getting restless and it's back to enjoyment of the family, enjoyment of the time spent together, playing with the kids, playing outside, doing all the things that we do as a family, and doing all the things that should be done as a family. So that is kind of a snapshot on how, why, and what we do on Christmas Day with regard to gift giving. And at this point in time, there's one other thing that's worth mentioning. The gift giving now at the cabin here on the farm, that takes place on Christmas Eve, because Christmas Day is spent at home. My brother spends Christmas Day at home. My sister spends Christmas Day at home. They have kids. They do Christmas in their own way. They are developing traditions and, growing their families in their own unique and personal ways. And they've also got family time to spend with their wives, their husbands, and their families. So, they do Christmas at their own home, and then they spend Christmas at their spouse's parents' home. And luckily, we are in a situation where my sister lives maybe 7-8 minutes drive down the road and off a little side street. And my brother lives up in the Cleveland area, and it's maybe about a 40-minute drive. So he's not far. My sister's not far. We get to spend a lot of time with my sister. She is around frequently, and that's awesome. And my brother, we get to see him on average about once a week. And luckily, we get to see his wife frequently as well. Not as much as my brother, but most certainly around the holidays. And my sister's husband's family lives here in town, and my brother's wife's family lives up near them in a neighborhood close by. So luckily at this point in time, our family is somewhat localized to the region where we live here on the farm. Their families are also localized to where they live in town, and it makes the holidays very nice. Not everybody has that luxury. I understand that. But if you don't have the luxury of having all of your family, extended family, live close by, it's all the more reason to consider alternative gift-giving strategies, much like what we do here, because traveling to see family is complicated, it's stressful, the logistics behind it is something that it's it can be a nightmare sometimes. The holidays are stressful as they are. So, the way that we've chosen to do this definitely eliminates and reduces some stress. So hopefully, you found some value in how we do things here on the farm, and you can have some ideas and takeaways from this episode to implement in your own life. So guys, as you listen to this show and as we get towards the end, I'm very curious on what you do that is different than the norm on Christmas. And you know what? Normal is a relative term. It's subjective anyways. It means, your normal is different than my normal, and our normal is different than the normal at the checkout clerk at the grocery store, and it's normal. It's different than the normal for the homeless guy on the corner that doesn't have the luxury of spending time with his family and getting gifts or receiving gifts of any kind. So, normal doesn't really mean anything. But what I'm getting at is I'm curious about what you do on Christmas. So let me know in the comments of wherever you see this posted. Check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/allaroundgrowth. Chime in with your thoughts there, because I will post this there first, in addition to posting it on other social media channels later today. And let me know what you think. Let's talk about the holidays. We've got Thanksgiving coming up here in a couple of days. I know we're very busy getting ready for a big dinner with family. And just like that, Christmas is going to be around the corner. A lot of us are already making preparations for that. So during Thanksgiving this week, consider talking about some alternative ways of doing Christmas together as a family. I promise you won't regret it. There's so much good that can come from doing things a little bit differently. So guys, let me know what you're doing, what your plans are, and ultimately, as time goes on, how you change your plans, because that's the only constant in life, is change. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to the Patreons, Wayne and Kiriaki. Guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.
That I believe in friendship and love, and truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. If we stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call. You know the times are wasting every day, and we can help somebody along the way. That I believe in friendship and love. Truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. You're an odd